Let's go. LSU, one of the best first halves of the year for Brian Kelly. You get a defensive touchdown. You get a special teams touchdown. And you get a big half from Garrett Nussmeier. Now, of course, we do not know what's going to happen here with Whit Weeks. I would like to think that it was a clean break. That would obviously be the better of pretty much everything you can ask for. You don't want this to be obviously an ACL tear or anything like that. But look, here's all I will say about the Whit Weeks injury. That turf is brutal. Okay. Now it wasn't quite like your typical ACL kind of injury on turf, but I will say that the last time we were on this turf was for a practice before UCLA, and Jared Small tore his ACL in one practice, and Small went on to play at Tulane. So it's interesting. Now, there are so many different things we can point to, but we'll start with the positives. Garrett Nussmeier was fantastic. And this is what we expected out of him. I shared the stat before that SEC quarterbacks throughout the SEC have been dominating in bowl games outside of course, a select few. And Garrett was just phenomenal. In many ways, his receivers let him down, in particular, Aaron Anderson on those two balls on the scramble drill in the back of the end zone. They're both difficult catches, but this is something we've seen from Aaron. He had the opportunity to make that really difficult catch versus Vanderbilt. And obviously, Aaron overall is a really, really, really good player. But you would have liked to have seen Aaron bring down either one of those. Obviously, a big half for Chris Hilton, who was LSU's best offensive player. And Tre'Davious Green, also a good half. Had a few good blocks in there. I know he can catch a football. That's not really a shock to anyone. But can he block? He had a few good blocks. He had a few misses mixed in there as well. And then obviously the real MVP of this first half has been the LSU offensive line. Now, our run game hasn't been the absolute best. It wasn't the best first half for our running backs either. But I get that. They have brand new offensive linemen in front of them. And overall, it was a good half for Joe Sloan. There was a few predictable things. If you watched the pregame live stream, you were able to see that I was calling out some of the plays before they were being run. So it's just one of those things. Good half for this LSU offensive line. Give Brad Davis a lot of credit for getting this group ready to go. Okay? Now, we all want to speculate on Whit Weeks' injury because, it's the biggest story of this game. That was pretty gruesome. It looked like his leg was in the opposite direction, or his ankle, foot, whatever. But he'll recover and hopefully be ready for the Clemson game in week 1. And, we can get into what LSU needs to do about it. They do need to go get a portal linebacker. Big shout out to Devon Keys with the pick 6, but there's nobody on this team that can do what Whit Weeks can do. It's just that simple. Okay, now once again, we want to thank our friends at Zion Imaging, the 360 spin booth experience. Please go book today, Zion Imaging, zionimaging.com. And NOPLD for all your home improvement needs, NOPLD. And, of course, our friends at nooffseason.com. For those that don't know, I am on the road. I am DJing a event tonight in El Dorado, Arkansas. It's a free New Year's Eve party. You could still drive and make it. So come hang out. I'm on stage at 9. So come on out. All right. Roy, that is not happening, but there you go. Yeah, of course. Black Connection, good to see you. Cortland. But yeah, we don't know anything. We don't. Chris Hilton is a retired journalist. If you are indeed a journalist, you would know that it's impossible to know how severe the injury is this quickly. Okay. Big shout out to Sorello. Got the Vans on. I like it. Tre'Davious needs more touches. Well, we're targeting him a bunch. I don't know how many more touches you could have other than the ones he is getting, but I think you're saying more so for the rest of the year or for next year. Maybe so. Maybe so. The first touchdown was just an amazing catch. The second one was just schemed wide the frick open. The big thing is going to be the blocking. If he can block, he could very well break all of Mason Taylor's records in the next 3 years. Now, as we always like to do, I am a little shocked that the yard per play numbers are as even as they are, 7 and 7.6. And look, you guys know I'm a super LSU fan, and you also know that I will shoot it straight. I will be as objective as I possibly can as a fan of the LSU team. The biggest issue we have pointed to in the portal has been safety. We need to address safety. It is a very real thing. I will say Jordan Gilbert had a very good first half. The safety play overall was really good in this first half. Where LSU has a massive liability is corner. Mansour Delane, of course, is coming in from the portal. You also have Jakeem Jackson coming in from the portal. But I think it would be malpractice if Brian Kelly did not make this adjustment. And I don't like to tell you and just give you analysis of what just happened. I like to try my best to be predictive. What would I do differently? Well, the big thing I would do is take both corners out or rotate another corner into the game. Because Zy Alexander, who had the big pass deflection there at the end, but that's a clear jump ball situation. You have to know a jump ball is coming in that spot. Zy Alexander's getting cooked. And Ashton Stamps is playing so bad. It has been a disastrous into the season for him since the Florida game, where he played the worst game I've seen from an LSU corner in a very long time. And it's just the truth. And here's a problem that I have with LSU is I understand we have built depth and we have addressed this in the portal, but it was a colossally bad decision to roll with so many young guys, unproven young guys, in a sport that's gotten older. So Ashton Stamps has been a year two starter from start to finish. Like we've not even tried anyone else. And you guys know I like Ashton Stamps. I always cheer for the Louisiana 3-star. But he was atrociously bad in this first half. Atrocious. And I hate to say that because most of the LSU defense did some good things. Gio Paez had a rough start to the game, but for the most part, Devon Keys has been everywhere. Outside of the pick six, which was impressive, but the ball, kind of floated right into his hands. Keys has been good, at least in my estimation. It's kind of tough to evaluate the defense unless you see the film per se. But there you go. No Grizz. LSU out here swinging their tiger nuts. I love it. Another thing I thought was interesting, and Carvis and anyone in here would tell you, I hate saying anyone's playing just bad, but it's just the truth. A guy that's mostly not been good, who I thought had a good half, was DJ Chester. He had a really, really, really good half. Okay. So there you go. Now, let's go over a few things I would like to see in the second half. I would like to see us run the ball some competently. I would like to see us run the football. The second thing is while we do have a return in the kickoff game for a touchdown, that was not a good half for us on special teams. Damian Ramos missed his first extra point in forever since Florida State in 2022. And that was a block kick. So he's never just missed one like he did. And there were some issues outside of his control on that kick. And then we had a shank of a punt. I know we have a new punter coming in, but we'll see. Brayton Swinson, mostly quiet. Savion Jones, mostly quiet, but we did get that fourth down stop. Now, I thought that was really good. I also think Dave Aranda has coached a disastrous game. Disastrous. I really don't know what he's thinking. Why would you give Chris Hilton the releases you've been giving him? That is just nonsense. If you have to do one thing versus him, you got to get physical with them. Chris Hilton will destroy you with the speed. Another thing was that 4th and 1 punt was so dumb. Your defense has not stopped anybody. Why are you punting the football on 4th and 1 when you're already down by 14? I don't care if you're backed up on your own 30. And another thing about the 4th and 1 punt that's stupid is LSU's got a really good punt returner. So, yeah, you booted it 52 yards, but Xavier Thomas returned it 18. So, Brian Kelly, we can get into criticism about him as a coach, but he was really good. Brian Kelly was really, really, really good in this half. Now, one thing I do not know, and maybe one of you could tell me this, because this is something I forget to track, is did we win the toss? And if we did win the toss, did we elect to receive or did we elect to defer? Because you guys know I'm a big defer guy. But this year, we have been good on opening drives. And if you score an opening drive touchdown, it makes your defense that much better. It puts so much more pressure when you drive down the field and score 7-0. So we might be a receive team. Okay, so Baylor won the toss and deferred. So maybe, the Arkansas game, we got the ball first, set the tone for the rest of the game. South Alabama. Obviously, these aren't the best teams in the world. I always still prefer to defer, but it is something. Okay. But I probably won't comment anymore on the week thing until we get more information in the second half. But the bottom line is, as good as Garrett Nussmeier has played, our defense has not been that good. Sawyer Robertson is not that good of a quarterback. I mean, he's our guy for next year. He's a fine quarterback. But that's the biggest gap in this game. LSU's got a dude, and Sawyer Robertson has just missed guys. That's the thing about our corner play. It should be a lot worse than this. I mean, Zai has been getting ran past since the Alabama game. It was an issue versus Vanderbilt. Oklahoma wasn't an issue at all because they had the worst receivers you'll ever see. So our corner play has regressed. And I understand, we're so excited about DJ Pickett and, 5-star, and we're excited about Mansour Delane. But there you go. E.W. Wright says these announcers sound like they want Baylor to win. Well, I'll say what was said in the Discord. That's where I mostly chat, for most of the game. Our Discord, you can sign up down below. Every person that signs up for Patreon, you'll get our game grades and all that stuff. My favorite play was the over. We had someone in our Discord take it, and it looks like you're going to win that. It would be a crucially bad beat if you don't win your bet here. But I don't know about who is it, Aiko and Philpott. I have a lot of respect for all of their announcers. I'm just dying for my chance to get into a broadcast booth. I don't care if I'm the play-by-play or the color. I don't care. I've done both. I feel like I could do both as well as anyone. But I would just say it's not been the best. It's not been the best. Yeah, that's the point, Gerard. He wasn't playing. That's part of why they weren't good. But that wasn't the context of what I was saying. It was when we played them, they were their receivers weren't good. In fact, their receivers weren't good all year. Some of you want to see Caleb Jackson. I've not seen PJ Woodland at all. I know there was rumors that he entered the portal. Did he actually ever enter? I don't know. Offense has been good today, says TJ. What's the Sloan smoke about? I hated the outside zone play in the red zone, but we scored a touchdown. How's Joe Sloan been in this half? Well, I hate crunching everybody in the red zone. I do like that they came back. So the second trade as Green touchdown was the same touchdown we threw to Mason Taylor versus South Carolina. I love that play. I really, really, really do. It's just a more modern version of the tight end throwback. And he had a good second down play called Trade as Green tripped. So he should have had the touchdown before. So PJ was playing a good amount. Okay. Definitely playing. Yeah, I guess I've just been so locked in on the corner play, I'm not paid attention. Was he at outside corner? I don't know. I guess I need to rewatch. I was mostly cutting offensive film study and just looking up and seeing our corners get beat. But we do have the halftime film study. Thanks to our friends at Zion. 3rd and 5, and Garrett Nussmeier is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen throwing to the intermediate middle. He might be the best I've ever seen doing this at LSU, okay? You'll see that Baylor to this side of the field has the perfect coverage called, okay? We're running smash here, all right? And this is covered, and you don't want to throw this into the flats because you're not picking up the first. So Garrett does a good job working to trade as Green over the middle, and he finds him, throws a really good back of the end zone ball right here, top shelf to a 6'7" target, and Trades makes a really, really, really good catch. You'll see it on this replay. So he starts off looking left. The key, though, is the protection. I mean, this LSU offensive line full of backups stepped the frick up in a major way, right? Definitely DJ Chester's best game. And you can't three-man rush Garrett Nussmeier. He's eventually going to find somebody open. Look at when he's actually deciding to rip this football, okay? It's now. That is really freaking ridiculous stuff. I mean, look at that. Bang. Trade Green takes a big hit. Good stuff. All right, let's go to Aaron. Let's go. Oh, you moved to Texas and you didn't tell anyone. You've been MIA. I really was thinking about calling you. Aaron, the window cleaner, holding it down. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Yeah, there was a car horn going off, and that's actually not now. That was when I actually cut the film study. Yeah, they had a few good snaps in there. McKinley and Bro, they had they were out there for that third down stop. But I'm telling you, man, I said this yesterday on Blake's show. After a rough game versus Florida, Devon Keys has been solid. He's been mostly solid. He did have that big penalty, though, at the end of the half. It didn't end up hurting us. But there you go. Window repairs, excuse me. Yeah, Joshua. I love it. I freaking love it. Love to see it. Yeah, I still think they should make a change, but it looks like we're going to run it back. So we'll see. Continuity. So yeah, I have someone calling me out on Twitter. He says, "Dude, what are you watching? We are averaging over 4 yards per carry. You act like you know more than the coaches on your analytics. Sorry, you're knowledgeable with zero coaching experience." Yeah, so we ran the football really good. BR Tiger 225 ran the football really good on the first drive. We did. We had a big run, obviously from Josh, and then we had another run to start. But since those two big runs, we have not run the football well. So I have blatantly, obviously, clearly said 1,000 times over, I don't know as much as the coaches. I don't. I will never say that I know more than any of the coaches. Uh, but since those two runs, our run game has not been good. Okay. Now, those two runs were good. All right. But you have a run for 16, you have another run for 6, and every other run outside of those two has basically been for 5 or less. And the problem with you just looking, and I'll put his tweet up on the screen here. Okay. A big problem with these numbers is actually it's not an analytical thing. It's what I'm actually seeing as the second half begins here. Little screen to the left. Uh, we are averaging over 4 yards. Sorry, just act so knowledgeable with zero coaching experience. Okay, so that's fine. Feel free to call me out of my football knowledge at any time. It's perfectly fine. I've always said that I don't know as much as the coaches or the players or the play calls or whatever. Uh, Good tackle, Toviano, the touchdown saver. The problem with that is we have had light boxes, right? They have given us some light boxes. So let's say the fourth down conversion to trade as green. Uh, the play before that, the 3rd and 5 run, we had a 5-man box. We have to be able to convert. It was a 3rd and 7, and we only got 2 yards on it, right? So we've got to run the football better. We've had some favorable number counts, we just couldn't. So there you go. You got your 15 seconds of fame trying to call me out on football knowledge, which is fine. I've always said I'm not going to know everything. It's hard, especially if you're trying to break down a game while it's actually happening. So there you go. Once again, our defense getting torched, but I don't know as much as the coaches, so I can't say anything. Uh, and I'm the one that's been labeled the anti-run guy. But yeah, we should actually run more if they're going to keep giving us light boxes, which is what they're going to do. I appreciate that, Black Connection. Appreciate you. Now, in BRT22, whatever his name is, uh, in his defense, it wasn't a bad rushing performance. I'm not saying it was terrible. It just we should be doing better, even with our defense not being or our offensive line not being as experienced. And some of that is play calling as well. Counter to the left. That's a good job right there, Greg Penn. Look at Wes Weeks playing in some inspired football here. Okay. Let me make sure I got this correct. So that's about what Baylor's season average is. It's about 4 yards per rush. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a you are right to a certain extent. It wasn't a bad rushing half. 3rd and 9 here. Let's see. Okay. Good tackle, Zy Alexander. That's not on Zy Alexander. It's a good play by him, actually. It's just better offense. You just got to make the tackle. That's all I ask for. I don't mind the defensive call. We're in zero right there. If they're going to run slants versus zero, it's just going to be difficult. There we go. There you go, Serene and Keen. I love to see it, man. And look, while you're there, if you're a super diehard LSU football fan, show some love to Damon Clark and some of the other LSU players that'll be in that game. I don't know if the Commanders have another Tiger outside of Jaden. I'd have to go look that up. I probably should know that because the Commanders have become my number one film study team on any platform. Their fan base has gotten bigger, and obviously, come on, Stamps. They're going to flag him for that. Oh, there we go, Ashton. Receiver is mad he didn't get a flag there. I thought there was a little tug. Let's see. Was there a tug here? Ball in the air. Oh, yeah, we got away with one. That right hand right on that chest plate. I'll take it, though. Let's go, Stamps. Yeah, you could definitely tell Carvis, like, especially, early in the season, he had a really good game versus USC. Good stuff. Savion Jones. So both teams have tried to do this on these 3rd and mediums. Instead of throwing, they're running in like these 2-down situations, which is analytically the right thing to do. If I'm Miranda, do I go for it here? I know for one thing, I'm not blowing a timeout. It's 50-50 here on go or kick. I'm probably slightly leaning kick. I would not blitz here if I'm – there you go. We actually 3-man rush it. Oh, no. Let's go. No. That is – no. There's no way he got a foot in. There's no way. No. Come on. Yeah, I saw a Baylor fan doing the surrender cobra. There is no way. No way. Yes, he got it in. Wow. So how does that work? If his toe is down, but it drags out. If I'm Brian Kelly, I'm stopping, doing whatever it takes to get that reviewed. I would be on the field. Let me see if I can turn this up.
Here from our perspective, man, the toe came down, but I'm not sure what came down after that and where it landed. What are your thoughts when you see the replay?
Okay, they're replaying it.
Roy, you are exactly right. The toe did come down in bounds, but the rest of his foot came down also, and that came down out of bounds. So I think this is going to be an incomplete pass. If you tap the toe and pick it up and step out, you're good.
If you drag it, that's what I thought. Interesting. But yeah, Serena and Keen, you're going to enjoy yourself, man. Jerry's World is a fun place. Yeah, he's out. LSU's defense has gotten so lucky today. Oh my God. I will take it. I will take it. We had the pick six that went straight to us, all the overthrows. It's insane. Huh? 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 Oh, man. Oh, did they give it to him? I had to look down for a second. TJ, what's going on in the other bowl games? I try to lock in on LSU, but the bowls have just been so good this year. They have literally been so good. What happened in Louisville, Washington? Okay, they called it incomplete. Good. Once again, defense, sometimes I think it just comes down to luck. Oh, man. Wide open in the back of the end zone, and his foot barely goes out of bounds. Yeah, but what happened to the end? I would literally give up my left pinky toe to call a college or NFL game on ESPN. Hmm. Yeah, want to do one more drive? Type Y for yes, type in for no if you want to do one more drive.
Let's just say the helmet ain't hard enough.
Wait, apparently Brett Beam was talking trash to Shane Beamer. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, man. There's a good run. All right, here we go. 2nd and 4. There you go, Garrett. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Step up and take those rushing yards, man. You'll be freaking near unstoppable. Just take them. Oh, Josh. Let's go. No! God, dog. Aaron Anderson, nightmare game. Oh, God, Aaron. Man, one of the biggest God, that throw is insane, though. That throw is absolutely insane, bro. Holy crap. Shoot. The route was insane, too. And then to keep his feet. I'll give Baylor credit. That was a good play. If anything, I'm more disappointed at his drops. That resulted, that was a 10-point swing, his drop touchdowns. All right, y'all. We will see you in the post game. Big shout out to our supers, Nola Grizz, Aaron, Black Connection, and Serena King. It is PHL, baby. Boom.